to Nick Grill. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Yeah, man and man with day up. Welcome to the program designed for men with guests who are men, hosted by men. So the mailbox is aired every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. right here on Love 101 FM, the family station. Can you imagine? This is July 26, 2023. I am your co-host, Kevin Bailey, and right here in the studio, Sir Courtney.
Hey Kevin, hey World Radio World, those listening to us on the air and watching us by YouTube and Facebook. I am Courtney Morrison and welcome to the mailbox. Today is Mentegrity Wednesday, Kevin, where we get to talk to a man of integrity. A man that won't lower his standard just for any reason. And a strong man, an integrity man, you know? Integrity man. I am a
Hey, Courtney. So
Hey,
what's happening? What's happening, man? How was the weekend and leading up to now what has been happening in your car now?
the weekend was a good one.
Yeah.
It was one of rest. It was one of peace. It was one of eating food, some nice roast chicken and sweet and sour chicken, and
Wonderful.
it was fairly good at a time that I felt like there were some burdens that have been lifted off my shoulders. So
Wow.
it's been a fairly good weekend, and running into yesterday and today, it
Hmm.
is just fine.
That sounds good because I know you keep going, and so you need a little respite. No, and then I have to say I had a good time too. Big up to Ocherios Gospel Chapel, Sister Prendergast, and the team there. And
Mhm.
some men had the opportunity to be with their marriage group, and so I want to give them a shout out, the team down there at Ocherios Gospel Chapel. So it has been a great time, thank God. He has
Mhm.
given us opportunities to make a difference in Jamaica and in the world. And so as men, we have contributed to the deterioration we see, whether it is in politics or business or civic society or church. We have made a contribution, and so we can make another contribution to make sure it's set right and we're in a good place so that God is honored. So, Courtney, we're always very happy to be in this space.
Yes, we have been making contributions to make it better as well. You know, it has been a good time, and especially like yourself on the mailbox. You continue to do a great and excellent job for the past 11 years. Continue to do so. It's just amazing, Kevin, what is happening, what has been happening, and we do see change happening.
Of course, of course. And we're very, very encouraged with what our men have been doing as
Mhm.
far as responsibilities are concerned. They're more committed to their families, more committed to their children, men taking on additional responsibilities. I think we're growing a sense of maturity. We still have a way to go. However, we have to encourage them on them because they have been putting in the work and the effort, and so we collaborate with our women as well and our children. It's the team together, each achieve more, isn't that so? So while we're having the challenges, we're seeing opportunities for growth and development, and so that Jamaica may under God, and we have to reach the entire world. We were destined to be a blessing to the planet. Yeah.
Just also want to remind us we don't encourage by shaming and blaming. We in Jamaica seem to think that works. But Kevin, in spite of all of that,
Yeah.
what a wonderful day on Sunday. The reggae girls, Jamaica reggae girls, drew nil all with France. An
Wow.
historic event where France has never ended scoreless in a World Cup match. And Jamaica did that. Unfortunate for our star player, Bonnie Khadija Shaw, to have gotten a red card and will sit out the game against Panama. But
Yes.
historic. First game, 1 point. World Cup. Women, wanna go on good. Excellent.
Very, 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 very encouraging. And I must be honest, I mean, France in another side is my team. And so when Jamaica does this is enormous, humongous, that we, a developing country with uh, not as much resources, but full of skill set. and strategies and teamwork that we can achieve this. So we're very, very proud of our girls.
And we
And
just want to big up not just our girls, our netball team, that's number 5 in the world. Our lacrosse team, that is now number 9, I believe, or somewhere up there in the world. We have a ice hockey team. Most people don't know that we have an ice hockey team that's doing fantabulously well. That
yes,
has won almost all their matches. Our hockey team, our field hockey team, the other day in, is it Pan Am Games or CSC Games, that we got the silver medal. And for those who are doing NACAC right now, those young men and young women, we have not been hearing much about them. We're not sure why, but we have been doing exceptionally well. Big up to our Jamaican sportsmen and women.
certainly, certainly, totally agree with you. We not only eat hockey, but we play hockey, and we have been doing
You
very
better
well.
believe that.
No, so it is our privilege. We're gonna have our Mentegrity man in the place, and he is no other than Joseph Martin. Joseph, are you there? Sir Joseph, yes, I see him coming. Want to welcome Minister Joseph Martin. Welcome to the mailbox. I think you're muted.
Good afternoon, sir, Minister Flame of Fire. May you unmute a bit so we can get to hear you. Your mic is muted. It's good to have you this afternoon with us here on the mailbox. Our privilege and honor to have you as our guest, as the Mentegrity man. Every last Wednesday of a month, this is what we do. And man, as Joseph tries to unmute his mic so we can hear his hello, just want to remind you that we want to hear from you. We're live on Facebook and YouTube at Love 101 FM. You can leave your comments via our WhatsApp line at 876-997-3125. Ladies, remember, you're welcome to participate in the program by leaving us a message via WhatsApp or comment on our Facebook page. Remember, ladies, no calls or voice notes allowed. We're sorry about that. We love you and appreciate you, but we want to hear the men. But you may leave your messages on our WhatsApp number, 876-997-3125, or on our Facebook and YouTube page. Minister Flame of Fire, Gary Joseph Martin, how are you?
Hi, Joseph. Are you hearing us?
Greetings, Pastor Courtney. Greetings, Bishop Daly. It's a pleasure to be here again another time. Yes, I'm hearing you. Can you hear me?
Sure. We're so very
Can you hear
happy
me?
to.
I'm hearing you. Oh, my.
Yes, we're hearing you now, Joseph. So we're hearing you, and thank you so much for the joining us. The privilege, honor is ours, and we're gonna have a great time. So in your neck of the woods, how are things? How are you today?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you. Just asking you how you doing today.
I'm enjoying the sun, really. Portmore sun already.
I see that.
I'm doing fine. God is good. God is good. Yes. It's a hot day.
I suspect, Courtney, I suspect that's where the flame comes in. It's flame
Can you hear
of
me?
fire. So there must be some heat, right?
Oh, yes, there is. And so we're going to be hearing much more from Gary. We just want to tell you a little about who he is before we go on. Mr. Joseph Martin grew up in Kingston 13 and lived there until he migrated to the UK at the age of 23. He lived there for 9 years. He was caught selling drugs and was arrested, sent to prison, and subsequently removed from the country. In other words, he was deported. He returned to Jamaica, where he continued his life, but fell ill for 3 years. Has a beautiful wife, Alcyon, who helped take care of him. And after surviving the 3 years of sickness, he gave his life to Jesus in the year 2013. It is really an honor to have you, sir, as our Mentegrity man. And we just definitely want to hear a bit more from you today. on what you're doing and where you are at. So we're going to be taking a little break, and we're going to come right back after these messages to listen to Gary Martin, Minister Fire of Flames, Minister Joseph Martin. I know him affectionately as Gary as well. So we'll be right back after these messages. You're listening to Love 101 FM. It is the program, The Mailbox. Soon come.
Hey man! I am a man.
Ooh la la. I see what I want at Phosphate Storewide Summer Super Sale. Come get your wires, breakers, LED downlights, solar lamps, LED bulbs, standing fans, and so much more. Shop Kingston, Mandeville, and Montego Bay. Come get your smart locks, smart bulbs, video doorbells, and video cameras. You can't afford to miss it. Come shop. Come save at Phosphate Super Sale, July 3 to August 31. See you there at Phosphate. Open Sundays.
Bloom in Astasia is proud to present its first fashion show held on Sunday, August 13, 2023 from 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. on the roof of the Mall Plaza. This second collection, titled The Testimony, promises to provide divinely inspired, head-turning designs that exude class and grace. This event will be unlike any other, and there will be prizes and surprises. Tickets can be picked up at Faithful Homes Decor at the Mall Plaza or on SpurOpen.com. For further details, contact Bloom in ASTACIA on Instagram or call 876-287-0296.
Hey, my peeps, get this on the regular. Your HIV status if you consider. Least of a test once a year. Just 15 minutes says status clear. Cause it might not show up on your timeline and you learn too late, so you're out of time. A progressive future, one tool. Really long life, our story. You hear?
Remember, update your status in a real life. Your HIV test today.
Just 15 minutes says status clear. Really long life, our story. Really long life for say you coming from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Jamaica Central Bank digital currency is now here. Jammex, no cash, no problem. Step into a future of ease, convenience, and security. Conduct business with your mobile device instantly and without fees. This is how life should be with Jammex. We get you free. Jammex and the real free. Use it to buy a store or TV. You can buy your shoes or 3Ps. The Central Bank digital currency. No cash, no problem. Jammex, backed by the Bank of Jamaica.
Strawberry, chocolate snackables full of flavor. It the pandelis, full heap of flavors. Butterkiss camis from 19 oh long. Butterkiss is amazingly good, great taste to savor. Butter make you slide into flavor, and that's why everybody pray for Butterkiss forever and ever. The original cookie is Butterkiss. Give me Butterkiss. Give me Butterkiss sandwich biscuit and cookie. Give me Butterkiss. Alright, cookies a long time favorite, never miss. Give me Butterkiss. Give me Butterkiss.
5 fantastic finalists, 1 title. Who will be Jamaica's 3rd gospel star? Your vote will help to decide the winner. Come out in your numbers for the grand finale on Wednesday, August 2 at 8 p.m. at the National Arena, or watch it live on CBN TV, PBCJ, or JCGC social media platforms. Voting closes Tuesday, August 1 at 6 p.m. Sponsored by Chase Fund, the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, PICA, Airports Authority of Jamaica, SOCIA, CPTC, Universal Service Fund, Digicel, and Phase 3.
The #1 paint for over 70 years, Berger has created a line of products that cannot be outperformed. Scientifically formulated for both interior and exterior surfaces, Berger paints are quick-drying, safer for you and the environment, and specifically designed to withstand our harsh tropical weather conditions. Now with over 2,000 colors and the ability to mix any custom color you want, Berger paints are simply unmatched. Choose Berger for lasting beauty and protection.
Ames Alliance Health Division School of Allied Healthcare is now taking registration for September 2023 for pharmacy technician, medical assistant, phlebotomy, surgical, and dialysis technician. Tried and proven, cost-effective quality programs on offer. 876-924-0952, 924-0957, or 616-7799. Ames AHD, Kingston, Mandeville, and now in Black River. Ames Alliance Health Division, the paramedical institution of choice.
Cubby's Baby Wipes is ideal for your baby's delicate skin, infused with vitamin E and aloe vera, and available for home or on the go. The time by Cubby's Baby Wipes is...
Now what? 5:47 p.m. right here in Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica. This is the mailbox, aired every Wednesday on Love 101 FM, your family station. So welcome back to the mailbox. Those who are joining us just about now, I'm Kevin Bailey. My co-host Courtney Morrison is in the place, and it's Mentegrity Wednesday inside the mailbox. And our Mentegrity man is Joseph Martin, a minister, business owner, father, and husband. But before we continue, we have to do our shout out, because we have to make the people know it's a man in the place. So we're gonna ask Joseph to join us after 3. We're gonna do the shout Monday up, because many people don't realize that men are very present, young men, middle-aged men, senior citizens. But we are here. So after 3, 1, 2, 3.
Monday!
Yeah.
Indeed. And as we continue the program, as you listen, we're in the segment we call the inbox. It's time to get into the main segment, because time has a way of really just catching up on us.
Yep.
This is our main segment. Today, we're looking at a man of integrity, and we want to answer the question, who is a man of integrity? Proverbs 10, verse 9, the NIV says, whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but whoever takes crooked paths will be found out. We've told you a little bit about Joseph. He grew up in Kingston 13. He lived there until he migrated to the UK at the age of 29 for 9 years. He was caught selling drugs and was arrested. He was sent to prison and subsequently removed from the country. He returned to Jamaica, where he continued his life, but fell ill for 3 years. After surviving the 3 years of sickness, he gave his life to Jesus Christ in the year 2013.
Wow. He attended the Whole Life College, where he did his theological studies and is now a minister of the gospel. And he described himself as being called to the lost. He has since started the Throne Room Ministry International and has a television evangelical platform where he does outreach ministry, where he ministers, he calls people to share their testimonies. Joseph Martin, 44 years old, is now married and a proud father of 2 children. Talking about turnaround, we're in for a treat. Man on man, just touch the man, them ladies, just call them. No, he is the CEO of his business. By the way, CEO, Chief Executive Officer, right? We also teach on this program, Nuts Shuttle Express. Yeah, Courtney.
So it's good to have you, Minister Fire Flames, Joseph Martin, Gary. I know him very well. We want to know a little bit about you this afternoon, and so we want you to tell us a bit about your childhood. What was it like growing up? Was it from poor, humble beginnings? Were you born rich? You went to a rich family? We want to hear a bit. We know what Kingston 13 is like, but for those who are listening and overseas who don't know, tell us a bit about your childhood experience and how you grew up.
Growing up, I never know what to do, really. I grew up seeing my mom, she will cook a big pot, and that pot will share for us and everybody else in the yard. She's a mom who, even if outside children come, she will cut a dumpling off and share it. So growing up in Kingston 13, right there in jungle, I never really know what poor is until I reached probably the age of 9, 10, when you see other youths in the community have them bicycle or have them Nintendo 64, and you wonder, oh, you now have a Nintendo 64.
We seem to have lost the feed on Minister Joseph Martin. We're hoping to get him back shortly. But he's a young man who indeed, he will tell you a bit more. Don't want to do any spoilers. They call these things spoilers when you give out information before the person gives it out. But he is really a dedicated young man in terms of ministry and reaching the lost. He has a good evangelical ministry. The Throne Room Ministry, as he said, is a social media platform uh, that he has started over the years. And between 2013 and now, 10 years later, 2023, he has been making a mark. You know, we
You
want
know,
to hear a bit more about his illness and how he recovered and how
sure.
did he manage to get through it. That in itself is a miracle. I know the story, but I want Jamaica to hear it from him himself. So we, we
Courtney, I
yes.
was saying it is really a wonderful thing to have him because it underscores the significance of turnaround. The fact is, you do not have to be perfect to be a man of integrity. You do
Right.
not have to be one that just had straight successes. You can sometimes add adversity and setbacks and reversals. And just hearing the introduction of what he has gone through, I am just so excited and encouraged to have him on because it will challenge, encourage, and empower other men who at this point in time may be going through a very rough time, both here in Jamaica and overseas, and may wonder, does God still have a purpose for my life?
Right.
Because right now I'm in the pit, I'm in the prison, and is there a presidency for me? Because it doesn't feel that way because of my circumstances. So just hearing that, I really feel encouraged, Courtney.
Yes, indeed. And as you say, questioning purpose, not only questioning purpose, maybe even questioning whether they themselves are a person of integrity,
Mhm.
because of some of the failures that they may have seen, you know, because of the adversities that they have faced. But we want to remind persons Moses was in the backside of the desert for 30 years. And that's quite a long time to be. And the truth is, even when God was ready for him in Exodus 4 and called him, he still wasn't ready. Again, after he had his own burning bush experience, he met face to face with God in
Yeah.
a fiery encounter, but still had something else to go through. He believed he was not worthy enough. He wasn't able to talk. And we really want to hear Joseph Martin's story because I believe it may fall somewhere in that category. And so, Joseph, we're glad to have you back. We just want to hear a bit more after you grew up in the jungle of Kingston 13. Mommy cooked the big pot. But tell us as well, what challenges you faced as a youngster?
I a lot of I would have said challenges in a sense that mostly, because I'm grew up around most of the notorious gunmen them back in the days, but as my mom would have always warned us or speak to us on, you know, stay out of bad company and stuff like that. So for for me, even though seeing the guns, seeing the badness, seeing certain things happening around, I try to escape, sidestep it with, try and focus on either go out, party, girls, um, so those challenges for me mostly would have been not be able to, you know, get out, trying to find a way out. Not that you live in a community, you just after give birth, you would have BET coming, you would have seen um, those things on MTV or BET. Your view was just you want to go foreign. You want to go foreign, you want to make it. You want to make mommy proud, you want to come back and buy the house for money. So I didn't have a focus where I just, you know, believe that one day I would not be in this so long. One day I would have come out. One day I would have, I am the fourth out of seven children. I'm the middle child. So I have elder brothers and sisters than I am. So, we grow together as a family. They were my family. I try to, even though we have friends outside, we were more close to family. So me, growing up in Kingston, Turkey, I see it as fun. It was enjoyment. You know, as I said, not that the violence was not there. You know, one of the things that, you know, internet do, it kind of highlight and amplify the bad things in the community, you know, but it was always there. So growing up, I have a sister. See how my mom struggled with 7 of us without a father. I try to not just put my family to shame or anything like that. So I was the type of person who just try to stay in the good book.
Ah.
Yeah.
So Joseph, middle order, and we know that has its own pressure, sandwiched between two generations and feeling pressured to perform. You went overseas. Before you give us that, where was your father in all of this? Was he present? Was he absent? You know, talk to us a little bit about that.
My father, you know, when I was 4 years old, I witnessed, and it's still even in my memory, even up to now. At the age of 4, I would have seen the day when my father would exit, walk out of my mom per se, you know, leave my mom with, it was like, yeah, five of us, right? 5 of us at a time. And the picture the day when he just push my mom out the way and enter out to the door, my big sisters going on. Growing up and without a father, and would have seen that image, that picture at 4 years old. I remember even after he left, sometime after when I grew older, when I began to go high school, you know, I would have known where his sister lived, he would have passed by his sister. So he would have been an old, but that present, you know. So my mom always, she wouldn't speak anything bad about him. She would always say stuff like he was a good father, he was there for us and stuff like that. And even though he died now, since December, he died, 73-year-old. I spent a few weeks with him and, you know, tried to, man sometimes cannot explain. I wasn't trying to look at expression. But one thing you remember, he said to me was that we love you alone, you know, because you have another outside sister. So that was the last thing that he really said. I made peace with him right there. And even when I was sick, I was in hospital, you know, he came and visited me and bring food for me and stuff. So even though he was not present in our life, he was always there because he would have contact with my older sister, because my older sister, older brother, they would have been more close to him. You know, even if he called me, he would have said, well, go on, didn't really talk, well, go on. I'm going to say, well, go on. But having stepfather along the way, having my other 2 brother father.
Hey, Gary, before you go into the stepfather episode, let us stick a pin there. We're up on a little break, so we're going to take this break. We're going to come back here more about what happened there. We're talking to Minister Joseph Martin, CEO of Northwest Shuttle Express, and indeed he's a CEO, husband, father. We on the program that's hosted by men with guests who are men. It happens every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. This is the mailbox. We're going to take a break. We're going to come right back here on Love 101, the family station.
Yes. Oh, every time I pay the rent, it feel like it money could have been better spent. More something from my own, more to turn the key in my own home. They make it so convenient when you contact the NHD. No matter your home ownership goal, you can get a loan easily. If owning a home is what you want to do, NHD is here for delivering more.
Ames Alliance Health Division School of Allied Healthcare is now taking registration for September 2023 for pharmacy technician, medical assistant, phlebotomy, surgical, and dialysis technician. Tried and proven, cost-effective quality programs on offer. 876-924-0952, 924-0957, or 616-7799. Ames AHD, Kingston, Mandeville, and now in Black River. Ames Alliance Health Division, the paramedical institution of choice. Here's why you can't afford to miss the Morning Watch.
I love listening to the Morning Watch because topics are discussed and issues are highlighted that are of major importance, which in turn edify me.
The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
I like listening to the Morning Watch. I find it very informative. I find it very interesting. The topics that are covered are very, very wide.
The Morning Watch, thought-provoking, insightful, current. Listen for the probing questions with attorney at law Stokely Marshall and the in-depth discussion with Reverend Dr. Dallin Toussaint. On Thursdays, the Morning Watch is brought to you by Educam Cooperative Credit Union, providing value through service, and Bashco, the store that gives you more. The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. The Morning Watch is on the family station Love 101. 5 fantastic finalists, 1 title. Who will be Jamaica's 3rd gospel star? Your vote will help to decide the winner. Come out in your numbers for the grand finale on Wednesday, August 2 at 8 p.m. at the National Arena, or watch it live on CBN TV, PBCJ, or JCDC social media platforms. Voting closes Tuesday, August 1 at 6 p.m. Sponsored by Chase Fund, the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, PICA, Airports Authority of Jamaica, Excelsior, CPTC, Universal Service Fund, Digicel, and Phase 3.
I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man.
Welcome back to the mailbox. You're listening to Love 101 FM, the family station. 30 years of serving this nation with integrity and with songs that inspire and indeed helps us and encourage. The program is the mailbox. For the past 11 years, Kevin Bailey and myself, Courtney Morrison, have been the co-host for this program. And today our guest is Minister Joseph Martin. It is MENTEGRITY Wednesday. This happens every last Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Before we went on a break, Prophet Joseph Martin was telling us his story of living in Kingston 13. Didn't see much of his father. And he had moved on from telling us about his father to the stepfather. Gary, may you continue, please?
Yes. As I was speaking about, even my 2 younger brother father, when he was in the picture like a father figure, you know, I get to really know what it is to have a father, even though he wasn't my father, to have a father, or knowing that when Christmas time comes, when I would get the Christmas present, you know, birthday and stuff like that, he didn't treat us any less, you know. So growing up and seeing that, for me, my aim was in the world as a street, you know, without going up without a father, you have to be streetwise, as they would have said. So I watched men in my community, and I would have known who to follow from who not to follow, who to imitate and who not to imitate. Because who you imitate, what you imitate is what you manifest. So I would always look on the hype man and man with hype and drive the big cars and stuff like that. They were like my role model. You know, the one with the gun and stuff like that. I try not to roll with those because I know it's only one way they're heading, and I want to make it out. So I would have watched certain men who we would have called shite man who could dance and have the volley for woman there. And so I become one of that person who become hype and have one volley for woman and just try to survive. You know, kind of where when you're in the ghetto, everyone is looking away out, everyone is looking to go far, and everyone is looking to either sell drugs or have volley for women. So it was just a world. I believe the ghetto is a system where men really struggle, and even it is easier to be a man of integrity when you're not serving God than when you're serving God and being a man of integrity. Harder. So, with all that said, a man with integrity really has to be a God-fearing man. And I grew up to learn that when you are serving God, certain things you don't run down the ice line. You don't run down the gun and stuff like that. You are focusing on how to get your brother out of the ghetto, to get your sister out of the ghetto. so they can come into the kingdom of God and enjoy the abundance that God has bestowed for them.
So Joseph, you really, you have been speaking highly about your mother, and she really seems to have made a tremendous impact on you, and because of the sacrifice, etc. Now you find yourself overseas. How did you reach there, and what happened? Because we have to get to some places where you had some adversity and some very challenging time. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Oh Lord! So for me, as I said, after the internet come into Jamaica, the whole Wi-Fi and all the cable TV and stuff, my desire was to go to America. What I ended up in England was, back then you have to write a letter, an invitation letter. So my mom has sisters and brothers in England, so they write a letter for me to come over there in the UK. I was just 21 years old, going overseas. It was a change of life for me. As I said, who you imitate, who you hang around, you become. So even when I migrated to the UK, it didn't take long for me to start linked, as you say, with men who are trying to get up out of the lifestyle of being under bondage. A lifestyle where you can provide for your family, and you're saying, listen, choose, this is the way out. And I end up over there, in drugs, I was selling drugs. I remember the challenges where I used to get robbed, a knife into my throat. I remember sometimes I have to swallow the drugs, try to hide from police and stuff like that. So during those years in England has really become a place of independence. You have one mentality, one set of listen. I'm doing this because I have help mommy. I'm doing this because I want to set my life straight. I'm doing this because I want better. You don't want to go back into the life of poverty where, you can't have for yourself, you want to cook the oxtail, but you have to eat mackerel rice. You want to cook the corn mutton, but you have to eat cabbage and rice and all those things. So when I went to England, that's my mentality was just to go out there, hustle, make the money, send home the money, and just prepare for a better future, So I command a lot of, when God calling you, even when I was out there selling jobs, thank God He was there with me. I went to 2-car accident, and I said, God, I'm not going to serve you. Come out of the 2-car accident, I'm gone, clubbing, gone back, raised, gone back to the room and them. So when God has a purpose on you, He, just in time when I just got my stay now, just have my daughter, just ready, said, this is my time to settle down now to go serve God. It's like, when God just draw the map from under your foot. So I end up lose everything, come back home to Jamaica, and that's where God picked it up and said, listen, when I'm calling you, I have a purpose for you. And some people say that the grass is greener over the other side. But sometimes God will bless you where He placed you. And when I come back home, been through 3 years of sickness, and I remember even in the prison, I make a promise that I'm going to come out of prison, and that's where I met God, in prison. And I promised Him that when I come out, I will serve Him. And I remember even when I come out in Jamaica, that was the last thing on my mind. Until God ever said, all right then, make a promise, one sickness. I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis and some other skin disease. People thought that I did have AIDS. People thought that I wasn't going to make it. Doctor gave up on me. And I remember I heard the Lord's voice, and a young man came to me and said, your sickness is not of God. And when I started going to that church, that's when I hear the Lord's voice. When you get into the world, and people say, no God, man, and me and God are fire, me and God are this. The answer them would say them know God. But to be told, you do not know God until you hear God's voice. And when I was out there selling the drugs, asking God to help me, and He would have helped me, get me out of trouble. This was the first time I ever heard God's voice when He said, don't let this baptism pass you. I heard it 3 times. And I remember I said to the person, I'm ready to get baptized. So I get some clothes, and they were like, no, you can do it right now. So I said, all this, let's say life is a journey. And when God have a call in your life, when God have a purpose in your life, no matter who you are, where you are as a man, if you give God the opportunity and say yes, He will turn around and bless your life far as you could have imagined.
Minister Gary, Mr. Joseph Martin, you were in lockup and you were ill after that. Were you going through this all alone? Was there any support system? Tell us what happened. Where was mommy? Was there a wife? Was daddy there? What happened? How did you get through those 3 years of illness and the period of being locked up? Encourage somebody to know who's listening.
You know, when I was going through my sickness, God is so strategic. You know, God doesn't have a plan B. He always have a plan A. And once you follow God's plan A, He will align the person with you. When I took sick in 2013, all my brothers and sisters was overseas. My mom was there with me. She was the one rolling up and down with me. Then the Lord sent this woman, my wife, before my wife, she was always there by my side. Even before we got married, I just met her just at the right time. I would have met her before the condition began to get worse, before I baptized. So through the 3 years, she would have played such a marvelous part in my life. She would have come home from work. I was bedridden. If I wanted to go to the bathroom, she would have lift me up. If she would have bring food for me, she would have cooked for me. I remember one time when my mom would go away, and me and her was at the house, and even when the storm came, I think it was Ivan, and me and her were there. And, you know, to have that support, I remember the Lord said, even when the Lord said to me, you know, see, your wife from you. I said, God, why? We're not the money. We're soon dead. You know, and I say all these things, so me see what kind of wife do this. And I remember when I told her mom and I proposed to her. I didn't even have a ring. I didn't have a piece of silver ring. Didn't have no money, nothing at all. I proposed to her in August 2013, and by December 2013 we got married. So she was there. You know, my family overseas were there to support me, and not to mention my church brothers and sisters. You know, I began to go to my church back then where I get baptized, the Apostolic Church. They would have prayed for me and stuff like that. So I have the support, even though sometimes I feel like giving up, feel like, God, am I really going to make it? Until I see death knocked at my door. I remember one time when the sickness was getting even worse. I'm going to say, God, you're really not my dead. I'm going to see my daughter yet. You know, so that was my motivation to just talking to God and see God have, you know, healed me and brought me through this. You know what I mean?
Tremendous testimony sharing there. Joseph Martin. We are going to take a break and then we're going to come back to this conversation. Much more to hear from Joseph Martin. We'll be back in a moment. This is the Mailbox on Love 101.
Strong man. What is a credit card? A credit card is far more than a piece of plastic. A credit card is a loan which is tied to your account at a financial institution. Remember, you still have to pay back the institution on time for any transactions. It's not your money. You have to pay it back or your credit profile will suffer. If you don't pay it back in full, interest will be charged on any outstanding amount. If you don't pay in full, interest will be charged on any outstanding amount.
This financial literacy tip was brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy.
Nestle Clean Fun Fest Family Festival is fun can done thanks to our partners Nestle Nestum, Nestle Lactogen 3, CB Food, Honeybun, New Pack, Cran Water, Big Up, Jamdex, Love FM, and Nestle Clean Growing Up Milk. Come enjoy Fun Fest Family Festival with family, friends, and fun. Tuesday, August 1st, Emancipation Day at Hope Gardens. Gates open at 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Come out early.
Hey my peeps, get this on the regular. Your HIV status if you consider least of a test once a year. Just 15 minutes say your status clear. Cause it might not show up on your timeline and you learn too late so you're out of time. A progressive future, one little, really long life our story. You hear?
Remember, update your status in a real life. Your HIV test today.
Just 15 minutes say your status clear. Really long life our story. Really long life for say you coming from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Yes.
Welcome back to the program, The Mailbox, live here on Love 101 FM. This is Courtney Morrison. The day is the 26th of July. It's now 6:18. We're into our final segment of Mentegrity Wednesday on The Mailbox. And we want to hear a bit more from Minister Joseph Martin as he's telling us about his life. We want to hear about your conversion to Christianity. How did you segue into becoming saved? You said here 2013, 10 years ago. And what's your ministry like, your evangelical trust? Let us hear some more about that.
Okay. Yes, as I said, 2013 when I heard the audible voice of God said, "Listen, don't let this baptism pass." I after I get baptized, and that's when the attack turn up. That's when the devil come after you more. But thank God for church. Sometimes there's always a church to run to. There's always a man of God out there, a woman of God, a pastor, or someone out there who you can run to. So even when I get baptized, and my wife decided to get baptized again, and so we married and get baptized. When we would have moved to Portmore, and that's when we start attending fellowship tabernacle. At the time there, then
Is that where Pastor Courtney Morrison is the pastor?
Yes, Pastor Courtney Morrison. Everything I do, my pastor. Going there, sitting under his teaching, and end up going to whole life college, private college, and stuff like that. To understand their purpose, and because I could have chance in going to fellowship tabernacle and going to whole life college. I remember when I was doing a course there called Purpose. And I remember driving home that night and I was like, God, 27-year-old God, what is my purpose? Can you imagine asking God what is your purpose 37 years old? And he said that what you're not good at, I'm going to make you great. And so that's how the name Minister Flames of Fire, because I was a dancer. Growing up, I would have danced, with Blue Girl and certain of the names on dancing them, Ding Dong, John I used to dance with them. So when I come into Christian, I converted, God began to minister to me and teach me about worship dance and how to be an audience of one. I would have danced when I was at church, worshiping, I would have danced. I would have visited other churches and I would have danced. So dancing was one of the things that the Lord would have used to hold me, and have me close to Him, in a sense that I know that when I am worshiping and when I'm dancing for an audience. God is just me and Him. So after that, I got ordained as a deacon in Fellowship Tabernacle for some time, serving there, the best as I can. And even through COVID, it would have shifted me to, start my own ministry, the children ministry, which is an evangelical television media ministry where my wife would have, her team would have invite people, to come and share their testimony. Would have go out there on the street, evangelize or give out food and stuff like that. So that's what the ministry is about. Would have host conferences, prophetic conferences, and have a platform where the system can come out and share their gifts and minister. So that's when, as my pastor would have said, if you're in church for 3 years and you don't know your purpose and you not have a ministry, you're wasting time, So I believe sitting under a Bible-believing church who teach on integrity, teach you how to walk with the Holy Spirit, and it would have just helped you to mature, it would have helped you to know your purpose, your destiny as a man, or as a woman. So I believe we need a good, like a role model.
Yes.
But,
So Joseph, you have been wise enough to submit to role model like Pastor Courtney Morrison to be mentored and nurtured and now having this powerful ministry. What would you say to young men and not so young who are in a city who feel that I have to do something wrong, illegal, because I want to help mama, I want to help grandma, I want to help my children? What would you say to them now, having the advantage of going through all of that to where you are now? Speak to them.
I would have encouraged any, Revelation 3:26, I stand at the door and knock. And if any man hear me and open up, I and my Father will come in and sit with them. And I believe God is not a God who does not just speak to the Christian, he speaks to unsaved as well. And just as though the enemy is speaking into your ears, man or boy, just as though the enemy is speaking in your ears, same God wants to speak in your ears. Because the Bible says even a child no good from home. Right. So I would have encouraged any young man to just listen to the voice of God. Listen because he's listening to you. Just as I'm going to murder somebody knife or God is speaking to you, but you are ignoring his voice. So I think it's important to listen to the voice. If you follow the voice, you follow the wrong voice, you so someone listening, as I said, I was when I speak to me. I was like, I was in my sin. And God speak to me to listen. I believe that even people who feel out of the voice of God, there are parts of the there's actually people out there who speak to somebody comes to a young man, even like for granted because you never know that God would have saved that person for you. I hear one woman, God said, the woman or man of the when we people adults like and we are people and so if you listen to the voice of God and fall in place.
Thank you very much. We just want to remind those today is Mentegrity Wednesday. We're talking to Minister Joseph Martin, CEO of his own business. And those of you who eat nuts, like cashew, peanut, cranberry, all those stuff. He does a business called Nut Shuttle Express. He's married. He has 2 children, husband, father. Want to remind you that you can leave your comments at 876-997-3125, which is our WhatsApp line, and on our Facebook and YouTube pages. Good afternoon to all those who are live on Facebook and YouTube. We don't know, studio, do we have any WhatsApp messages or any such things today on our social media platform that you'd like to share, so we can share with those who are listening on air what is happening on our social media platform? If you do, let us know. There seems to be no Nothing. We just have a couple of minutes left. And so, Prophet Joseph Gary Martin, as I know him, tell us a bit in closing. What message would you really like to leave with our young men? I know you have a beautiful wife, Alcyon. You have a son, Jetski. Tell us a bit more about your daughter, but we have 2 minutes. If you can tell us a bit how to balance family, business, ministry in that 2 minutes, we greatly appreciate it because it would encourage and inspire someone who is listening.
To balance family and ministry and business, it really takes grace. We really need the grace of God, because sometimes it can be so much. You do not want to neglect any, and you have to try to fit in. So I believe it's about principle, communication, and practical. Find time. It's 24 hours in the time. I know sometimes it's drawn out, it looks long, it looks short. But I believe if we can manage time, it's not about getting everything done, but if we can manage time, I believe we can have time for family, we can have time to ministry, and also have time for business. And it takes a unity, so everyone has to play their part. It looks more struggling if it's the husband alone doing it or the wife alone doing it. Or it takes a togetherness. There's no I team. So I believe if the family, work together, just as you say, a family pray together, stay together. A family that works together also will stay together. So I believe it's about managing time for every aspect. Find time for the children, find time for your wife, find time for ministry, and find time, for business. So I believe that, it's just that we're not managing time, and some are not getting the quality time what we're supposed to be getting. So we can't focus too much excessive time on one particular thing. I just believe the balance coming when we know how to manage time.
That's a good way.
Speaking about time management,
Kevin? Yeah. So we have to manage this time, and really want to say thanks to our producer, Trisha and Brian, to Timoy Butler for technical support, to you all listeners, those who joined us on social media. Thank you. Yes, Courtney.
Thanks to our integrity guests, Minister Joseph Martin, father, husband, business owner. Continue to raise bars, set standards, and show one another how it's really done, how to live in integrity, how to balance multiple roles, how to serve God, take care of your family, and have one wife. Listeners, catch you again next week for the mailbox. Monday. Next week.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes.